So the moment that Bulldog fans have been waiting for almost 2 years has finally come. We know who are playing in the first ever Pac-12 football schedule. And I don't care whatever grievances you have about any disappointments. I don't care about if you are disappointed that the Pac is not all what it could be. This is so much better than whatever we would have gotten if we had stayed in the Mountain West, all right? There's no little half-built stadiums in this league. There's no conference. There's no football stadiums that look like glorified high school stadiums. This is a true football league with no real deadweight. I know you can say Oregon State, Washington State compared to the old league, but no. San Jose State is a deadweight, all right? If we had stayed in with a conference of UTEP or Northern Illinois as your add-ons, maybe North Dakota State, you would have shaken your head forever and said, "Oh my God, we're dead." it's just the truth. Okay, it's the same thing. This is so exciting. We've been waiting so long for this moment. I'm not gonna go over wins and losses right now. I'm just gonna announce what the schedule is later on as the year goes on. We get TV and after spring football and so forth. I'll go over how I think the Bulldogs will do and so forth. But right now, let me just do a quick rundown on who we're playing. The Bulldogs are going to wear their Pac-12 patch, first ever, in the LA Coliseum at USC on September 5th. And the men of Troy will probably play a game ahead of us, so who knows what they'll look like. That I'm not going to go over, again right here, wins, loss, prediction, and so forth. But if you're a Bulldog fan, you can make the trip, do so. It'll be a historic moment. And for the first time in a few years, the team in Pac-12 patch will be in the Coliseum again. So a lot of reasons to say I was there just for that alone. I'll try and be there, make a video about it. Time there if I can. Next week, they host Sacramento State, the formerly FCS Sacramento State Hornets, now the Mid-America South Sacramento State Hornets, which I don't think because of this the Bulldogs are playing any team below them. So that has to help our rankings, right? We're not playing a Southern Utah, Weber State, or anything like that this year. All right, so next we go to the famous half-built stadium that is San Jose State on September 19th. Bulldogs should win that one. Should always win that one against the Hoosier Spartans. And again, if you have not seen the difference between the Pac and Mountain West, watch them when the Bulldogs go to San Jose State, all right? They literally have a half-built stadium. If you're someone who's never seen this before, that's why we're leaving, all right? Next week on the 20th, we host the Rice Owls, a potential future Pac mate, or at least one of several options in Texas. Rice Owls, a former conference mate. That should be a win. Then conference play starts. We go to Washington State on October 3rd. Then we host the Boise State Broncos on the 10th. We go to San Diego State on the 17th before heading to a bye. And I'll make something clear right now. They've not announced times or dates. Well, hold on. It looks like the game against Washington State will be on a Friday. At least the option is there for one. Same thing on Halloween off the bye week when we host Oregon State. It'll either be on Halloween or they can flex that to a Friday. Either works. Then we go to Utah State on November 7th. That is usually nasty weather-wise, Logan-wise. I know you're going to say, Utah State, that stadium. That stadium is not half-empty stadium, all right? It's not like half-built like San Jose State. Period, end of story. So, then we go to Texas State on November 14th. This is the first time, I think, since 2004 when they went to Rice in the old WAC that the Bulldogs will go to Texas for a conference game. Could be wrong. I don't have the exact numbers on me right now, but we'll see. Then we host Colorado State on the 21st. And then, this is where we talk about the flex game. We host San Diego State again. But the flex game doesn't count for conference standing. It's about not trying to kill yourself and hurting your standing for potential playoffs. The Bulldogs aren't the only teams playing a flex this week. Colorado State is hosting Texas State, Utah State is hosting Boise, and Washington State is hosting Oregon State. So that flex thing is very interesting. It's because they would not fill that hole with a Sacramento State or some other desperation move that option is still there. I applaud the restraint to have that. I don't think you need to have it this year. I think this year is about showing the viability of a rebuilt Pac-12. But I think no later than 2028, you have to have that spot filled. I think they're not done. I think they're going to be very careful about expanding. And obviously, you're going to try and get a conference made for football and all the sports for the Texas State Bobcats to help them out. I actually think that's one of two spots to look. I also think they'll try and get someone from the Bay Area. I've said numerous times I believe it would be St. Mary's, but if it's not St. Mary's, it would be some other team in the Bay Area, maybe Santa Clara, San Francisco Dons, or whatever. But first and foremost, you need to find out a football member, and you've got numerous options in the state of Texas. I've said I prefer Rice, and I've stated my reasons why, but our options include is the University of San Antonio, Texas Roadrunners. They're in a prime location where they're not dominated by professional sports market. I mean, they are a professional sports town. They have the Spurs, but they are in the happy medium of having a sports team, but not dominated by it, but still viable. But there are numerous options they can go for this rebuilding Pac-12. But, this has to be a 2-year proposition at most. You don't want to be you don't want to accept the Sacramento State into the MAC, which makes no sense. They've not done anything. And the Mountain West has just added everybody they possibly can. They've added UTEP. They've added, which actually does make sense for them. I'm surprised they haven't been in there already. And they added Northern Illinois football only, which doesn't make any sense. I don't see any real value there. And they added North Dakota State, which, again, does that really increase your contracts? Does that really increase your viability? Does it increase anything like that? I don't see how you do. So the Pac has to be very careful about how they're expanding. I think they've done a pretty good job of that. But in the first this upcoming year and the schedule right here on paper, you've got this 2-game stretch of Utah State and Texas State. I don't know if they'll fly back or if they'll try and find a way to stay somewhere in Texas. It just doesn't seem very economical if you could avoid it. I know in a professional league they wouldn't. They fly back to Logan. That's not particularly bad flight. We go from Salt Lake City, but the weather is just brutal. Then you go to Texas State. That really is the only rough part in terms of travel. You finish November off at home. You got, go to Washington State. That's not bad travel-wise. October, if it's on a short weekend, okay, big deal. You're not changing time zones. You're not changing anything to that. This is a conference that generally makes sense geographically. The only outliner right now is Texas State, and I'm sure they'll add to it. I know people have said, want Memphis or Tulane in the beginning, and so did I. But they've made the position clear they're not going to join anytime soon. They're going to look for the Big 12 or ACC. So try and eventually add teams that want to come in. Right now, they're not in a real rush, and this schedule reflects that. It's a solid schedule. There's no real thing that drags you down. It's certainly going to be better than anything you would have had at Mountain West or any of the G5 teams, G6 teams, however you want to categorize Pac-12. And if the Bulldogs do make it to the conference championship game, since they've not, and this year at least, they're going to have it at a host site. Now, I want to see them try and move it to the Rose Bowl Stadium if UCLA leaves. I think that'd be another good way to stake your claim that we are the Pac-12 if you can play your game, a championship game in the Rose Bowl. But that is a conversation. I don't think you'll get anything in Vegas. Per se, I don't think they're going to let you, because UNLV is part of that stadium holding group. Part of that group that brings it in. I don't think they're going to let you. It's not like basketball. We have now 20 different arenas, but that's a topic for a different discussion. If the Bulldogs run the table, have the best conference record, they will host on Friday the 5th, the Pac-12 championship game. And this is a schedule where they can do it. I think if the defense picks up what they did last year, they have Nick Bandetto and a lot of players coming back. We have the opportunity to do so. We'll have to figure out who the quarterback is, and I'll talk more about that as the situation goes on. Again, I'm not going to make any predictions to anything until we know who the quarterback is, how that's more set. But right now, this is very exciting news for your Fresno State fan and for any team in the Pac. I mean, I don't really care what anyone says. I'm just going to say right now, by the end of these current contracts, the Big 12 Pac will be at the same level. That's why they were so afraid of it. But that's another topic for another day. Really exciting to see. It's a dream come true for Bulldog fans. Can't wait to buy that patch. I'll be very interested to see on the spring game if they what they do in the field. I don't know what legally they can allow the Mountain West. They have to keep the Mountain West logo on the field. They can just leave it blank or whatever. But we've all wanted this moment, but it seems like it never got here. But it is coming this fall. We just got to go through the end of basketball and badball sports. And then we are out of this league and into the pack. And it's exciting times. Makes you want to say go Dogs, and I will. Go Dogs.